European Athletics website, and they're saying, but such and such has retired. Have they retired? Were they injured? No. You're allowed 4 failures as a special competition rule, alongside the fact that you normally would have 3 consecutive failures to see you eliminated, unless you win.
So, this is this hotly anticipated women's sprint hurdles A race that we were just talking about, and really excited to see what happens in this one. This is Abigail Paulet, the British heptathlete, who has improved by 0.4 seconds this year, and will be going to the European Under-23 Championships to compete in this event. And then the home favourite, Pia Skrzydłowska, the 22-year-old who had a victorious double 2 years ago in this stadium, 100 metres and 100 hurdles, 11.25, then 12.99. Nadine Visser, twice a European indoor champion over 60 hurdles, 5th at the Olympic Games. She's run 12.71 this year in Hengelo. Letitia Bapte was 5th at this year's European indoors in Istanbul. She's improved to 12.78, compared that to a PB from 2 years ago of 13.06. But our European leader and indoor champion from Istanbul, Rita Hurske, and an athlete who for many years has been an excellent 60 hurdles runner, seeming to also be strong over this longer distance outdoors as well. And what about Ditaji Kambunji? We saw some of the emerging young talents in the men's event a moment ago, and she has run 12.78 in Hengelo recently. And this is the Italian champion, Elisa Maria Di Lazzaro, 13.04 in Turku earlier this month, 12.9 at best. And Elisabeth Pesiridou has 6 Balkan titles, including 4x1 relays, the Greek. Well, we all know who those watching on inside the stadium want to win this event.
On your mark.
So many of these women consistently well under 13 seconds. Pia Skrzydłowska also has a PB in this stadium from last year of 12.51. Paula Skrzydłowska, Visser, Bapte, Hurske, Kambunji, Di Lazzaro and Pesiridou. The women's 100-metre hurdles A race.
Set.
And we're focusing in there on Hurske, who didn't get the best start. Well, I don't know if anything was spotted there.
It wasn't, but I was just rethinking from that Continental Tour event in Turkey, and I was so excited we were finally going to get Pia Skrzydłowska versus Rita Hurske that we wanted in Istanbul at the European Indoor Championships, and I really hope it's not the Polish athlete. That looks very even to the naked eye. We'll wait till the graphic comes out. It was a good start from Kambunji, but I think that was all after the start, or maybe not. Maybe it was a little bit too early from Ditaji Kambunji in lane 7.
Well, we saw a very similar reaction time in the 100 metres, I'm going to say, yesterday, which produced a yellow card.
I think the race officials are being quite lenient with the athletes here. It's not like a one-day meeting, like a Diamond League meeting, or perhaps a World Athletics Continental Tour. They know that points and the crux of the competition is this contest between Europe's leading nations. So the last thing they want to do, I think, is start disqualifying athletes unless it's a really egregious error. And we've seen, I think, under other circumstances, potentially athletes who could have been disqualified, although I have to say, I think that looks like a red card in the hand of the chief track official, Luca Vereshina.
Certainly does.
Oh dear.
Unfortunate for Kambunji. Now, rather large. I'm sure they were bigger than yesterday's cards, just to make it clearer and clearer, which is helpful for the audience as well. Don't forget those watching in the highest part of the stands. Those details, as Kambunji is going to have a look at the finer details also.
I can only recall, as we were saying in the Division 3 match, one other athlete being disqualified in the sprint so far this week, and that was the Israeli sprinter Blessing Afrifa back in the opening day of the Division 3 match. Not too many complaints, I think, from Ditaji Kambonji.
No, but it will mean that someone who was in the A race and thereby with a faster time coming in will get no points. Switzerland find themselves in 9th position out of 16 in the overall standings. So we get ready to go once again, minus Kambunji of Switzerland. So it will be Paulett of Great Britain on the inside, then Pia Skierachowska, Nadine Visser, Letitia Bapte, Rita Hurske, Elisa Maria Di Lazzaro and Elisabeth Peseridu.
Set.
Now the athletes are away, and Skierachowska got an even better start that time. Bapte and Visser, though, neck and neck, right with her. Three-way battle, but Skierachowska just at the last found an excellent final gear to win in 12.77. So she's come here once again to the Stadion Saski. Another dose of maximum points, and 2/10 faster as well than she was 2 years ago. What an athlete.
A significant injury for Pia Skierachowska in the indoor season. It was heartbreaking. She was European lead. She was running faster with every race, and picked up a hamstring injury. And to have been rehabilitated and back already on the track running so well is fantastic for Pia Skierachowska. She was under real pressure here. It was a great start. And she just, at this point, you thought, okay, she's going to pull away a little bit. But hats off to Nadine Visser and Letitia Bapte for keeping her honest here. And Skierachowska, you could have forgiven her at this point for being overawed by the occasion. She's here in front of a home crowd. She's not had very many outdoor races. And this race meant a lot to her. She was talking in the press conference. This was very important to come and perform well for her nation, for herself. And to be able to deliver under that intense pressure, that's super impressive. And I think her season is just going to go from strength to strength from this point out.
We mentioned the 100-metre win a couple of years ago as well. Do you think it might have been that sprint speed right at the end? I'm clear of the barriers now, off I go, whereas perhaps Visser and Bapte just beginning to tie that little bit more?
I think it's, I don't know, you kind of, I love thinking and talking about sort of home advantage. And you kind of say, you know, this is that tiny, everything in this competition, you're there for your team. It lends itself to finding that extra gear, but maybe in a home games as well.
100%. So, Skierachowska ahead of Visser and Bapte. Fairly clear top three ahead of Rita Hurske, who we thought might well feature within it for Finland. And this is how those two results come together. As you can see, most of the top names came from that A race. Ditaji Kambunji, no points for the Swiss. And Bumko, she gets 1 point, you see, that's all that matters. Or 2 points indeed, is it? Yes, of course.
And Bumko showing why it's worth turning up for your team, even if it's not your favourite event. She did get 7 points.